All right, everyone, joined now by reliever Justin Lawrence, made his major league debut last night. We will go ahead and get started. Daniel Allen, talk from the Gazette. Go ahead.
Hi, Justin. Congratulations. You were on the taxi squad, right, before this?
Yes.
How did you find out you were being promoted?
It was about 30 minutes before stretch, and the bullpen coach, D. Scott, came and grabbed me and told me they had to talk to me, and went in there and talked to Bud and kind of had an idea, it's probably going to happen. And that's when they told me. And then, made a couple calls and went out to stretch.
Who were those calls to?
I called my wife right away. And then right after that, I called my dad and mom, and then my agent.
Awesome. So when you dropped your arm angle down, did you have anybody who could help you learn that, or did you kind of have to figure it out on your own?
It was definitely initially something I figured out on my own. It was my freshman year of college. I wasn't getting a ton of playing time, so I kind of started messing around throwing like that, and it ended up working out. I felt comfortable doing it, and it kind of went from there.
Is there anybody in the Rockies organization that has experience with sidearm that's able to help you?
Recently, Givens has been a big help. Givens and Bard, I throw similar, both of those guys, and I mean, just picking their brains all spring training has really helped me, get to the point where I am today with just being comfortable out there on the mound and knowing that, there's a couple guys in the organization that throw similar to me.
So you hit over 100 miles per hour twice yesterday. Do you know the hardest you've ever thrown?
I think that 0-2 fastball, the 101.2 was the hardest I've ever thrown a baseball.
Like, were you surprised by that? Was it just all adrenaline from your debut?
No, yeah, it was definitely all adrenaline. That first hitter, I didn't want to feel, like I was trying to do too much and throw it as hard as I could. And then I threw that first pitch, I turned around and saw the 100, and I was like, okay, the blood's flowing and the adrenaline's definitely kicking in a little bit.
And did you get the ball from your first strikeout? And what are you going to do with it?
I knew they threw it off the side. I don't currently have it yet, but I'll hold on to it. I might send it home, give it to my parents. They're obviously they're the biggest reason why I'm here in the first place. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go to Patrick Saunders from the Denver Post.
Hi, Justin. We know you've been through a lot to get here. You were kind of on the verge a couple of spring trainings ago. Because of the journey you've taken, do you think that's made this your debut even more meaningful?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't wish what I had to go through on my worst enemy, and especially when it, wasn't deserved, and going through missing an entire year in 2020, obviously wish I could have been out there at the All-Site last year with all those guys, and that camaraderie of being at Coors, for that shortened season. But at the same time, I had an opportunity to coach a great group of kids at back home at Rip City. And, if that suspension wouldn't have happened, I would have missed out on that opportunity. And I learned so much from coaching those kids, and some of the relationships that I made with those guys that 100% have impacted, where I'm at today also.
That's awesome. What did you do to maintain the edge, if you will, during that time out of the game? Did you throw consistently? Did you take a big chunk of time off and then jump back in full steam? How did that go?
I tried to maintain as close as I could to game speed, knowing that there was going to be an instructional league and there was a chance that I may or may not go to that. And again, those guys at Rip City, that 18U team, they practice all day. And then I asked, hey, like I need to throw to some hitters, and they all stood in there. And again, it's a testament to those guys being there to help me, stay game ready.
What age group are we talking about here?
These guys were anywhere from 15 to 18 years old.
So you were throwing with your sidearm delivery at 15-year-olds?
I was, and they loved it. I mean, to see those kids, like they wanted to get on the plate, on the batter's box, like, they wanted that. And like guy will foul a ball off and they all start going crazy. Like it was fun, you know.
That's pretty cool. For the most part, you were a little wild last night, but not bad. Have you had a chance to assess your first slice of the big leagues yet, or is it still kind of dreamlike?
It's definitely still fresh and dreamlike, just kind of, you know, taking it one moment at a time. And probably before I head out to the game, I'll take some time, sit down and look at it and, you know, make the adjustments that need to be made before heading out to the game tonight.
And one more from me, Justin. We don't see your style or your technique in the majors very often anymore. What is the key, besides being able to throw 100 miles an hour? What is the key for your type of delivery? What are the things you got to make sure you accomplish when you're out there, and the things that you got to stay away from?
For me, pre-pitch is just when I'm going through my delivery, staying as, you know, as calm as I can. And then, you know, right before I throw it, like, okay, now we go. Now we're aggressive. But, you know, staying calm in my delivery. And then post-pitch or post-delivery is making sure I get strike one. You know, I had a conversation with Buddy in spring training, and he, you know, kind of gave me a challenge to keep tabs at all side of my first pitch strikes and all that. And, you know, that was the most important thing for me.
And I apologize, one more for me. Because of the sidearm sweeping delivery, and this is a baseball pitching question, which I don't know the answer to. Are you able to, I know you can make it sink and rise, but can you make it sink and rise as much as, say, a conventional pitcher? Or because of your delivery, is it more side to side movement?
It's definitely with the release, I can manipulate it some. You know, last night there was that one that was kind of a two seam, but there's times when I'll get on top of it a little more and it'll be more of a downward sink. Just depending on the intensity, you know, the count and how I want to manipulate that pitch.
Great. Thanks, Don. Appreciate it.
Go to Owen Briggins. Owen?
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. You know, just on the a follow-up on the arm angle question, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think of that lower arm angle as commonly having that high velocity. Is that unusual? And whether it is or not, are there guys that you studied once you adopted that style?
Yeah, Michael Givens put it best at spring training. I was having a conversation with him. He said, you know, he's like, we throw from the side, but we're not submarine pitchers. We're slingers, you know, and he said that, and that's kind of really makes it make sense. Not a lot of guys, you know, that throw from that slot, from that velocity. But when I first dropped down, you know, I watched every video on Givens on YouTube, you know, basically just learning from him. And then, you know, to have that opportunity to be able to, you know, pick his mind in person at spring training this year, kind of put it all together. But Bard, we're very similar. He's a little higher, but the way we attack hitters is very similar. And Miguel Castro, he is, I would say, one of the most similar guys to my delivery and slot and, you know, velocity and everything like that.
Great. And then jumping around, was curious about the kids you worked with. That was back home in Florida, is that right?
Yeah. It was Rip City baseball facility that I had the opportunity to they took me in and let me work there throughout that pandemic season and all that while I was home.
So how did that opportunity come up? You know, did you have any connection with them in the past, or somebody you know, and can you say anything just about being a coach at, you know, at that stage, both of your career, but also in a strange year for everybody?
Yeah, a couple of years back, it was raining one day, and I was trying to throw a bullpen. So I, you know, Googled like, you know, facilities near me, and I noticed this new one that was actually fairly close to my house. So I reached out, and I was throwing there time to time, you know, giving lessons here and there. But this, you know, when I found out that I was going to be home for the 2020 season, you know, I told them, I was like, hey, like I'm all in, you know, I want to be a part of this. And they were a newer facility, so, you know, getting the teams together and, you know, experiencing like actually being on the coaching side of things, going to tournaments and all this stuff. And it was really, you see the game from a different perspective that has helped me grow as a pitcher, a player, a person, you know, and everything. So again, was being home in 2020 the best thing? You know, maybe I should have been out at the outside, but like I said, I've made some relationships that are going to last a lifetime, you know, working there.
Okay. And I got two more quick ones. Is your family, your parents, are they in Florida also? And when are they going to be able to, your family, catch up with you at a major league game?
Yeah, they're in Florida and they flew out this morning. They probably just recently landed. So they'll be at the game tonight and through the rest of the series.
And the last question, what was the moment last night that was, you know, the moment you're really going to keep with you forever, do you think? What was that?
I would just say that right before running out, you know, onto the field, they opened up the gate. I kind of stood there for a couple seconds, took a couple big breaths, you know, like that was that moment right there. Took it all in, and that, you know, that run in is probably what I'm going to remember the most.
All right. Thanks a lot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I will go to Kevin Henry for last question.
Hey, Justin, a couple of years ago when we talked, you mentioned how that you and Ben Bowden celebrated going to Albuquerque together. And I'm wondering what does it mean to you that both you guys have made your major league debuts this year and all that you both have been through?
It's awesome. You know, he's one of my best friends. He was in my wedding in December, and you know, being in the bullpen with him, it kind of gives you a little, you know, like a sense of calm, you know, knowing that you have someone that close to you in the bullpen with you, you know, and he's been there this past month. So I was able to kind of pick his brain a little bit too on some of those rookie feels, you know, and trying to get ahead of some things like that. So it's awesome to share a major league bullpen with one of your best friends.
Great, man. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Anything else for Justin?